his ground speed, his throttle timing, and watch the ramp too. This could be the most fun, but also chaotic and also entertaining and longest. I don't know, all the different things that I could describe this breakdown as, and the most difficult for me to break down, because we're going to take a look at the 2 double backflip attempts that I'm aware of have ever occurred. All right. The first one we all know from Foxborough 2015, Tom Meents and Max D. And I guess the sport didn't give it to him because at the very end, the truck kind of twisted out of the second flip. He landed it, and it was such a spectacular moment. But the other one that maybe not everyone knows about is Todd Leduc. When he had that huge backflip in 2023 at the World Finals, when he was in Megalodon, the Neon Megalodon, I think it was, he was actually going for a double backflip. Okay, and so the fact that it went so high was because it didn't rotate. He realizes it halfway through. And so I want to break this down because this is going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, you got to be ready for a little bit of chaos. Let's take a look at Tom's flip first. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to watch Todd's, and then we're going to break down a couple things like ground speed, throttle timing, and a couple other things like the ramp. And I want you to tell me what you see, because I am not convinced that I know why Todd's truck did not rotate as hard as Tom's did. All right? So you guys got to get really involved in this one. Are you ready? Good. Man, that's such a sick twist at the end, isn't it? Okay, here we go. One more time. Watch the ground speed, throttle timing. Boom. Okay, now let's take a look at Todd's. Okay, this was one of the scariest things for me to watch, to be honest with you. God, that was so big. All right, so again, watch his ground speed, his throttle timing, and watch the ramp too. Is that not awesome or what? All right, so here's a couple things that I saw. I believe that their ground speed is almost identical. It looks at first like Todd is approaching it faster than Tom did, but the more I studied these two, they look identical to me because Todd actually kind of checks up on his, right maybe, I don't know, 50 feet before he actually hits the trench box. I think the ground speed is similar. I think that Tom, it was kind of interesting to watch his timing because I think, yeah, is right at the base of that transfer. So that's obviously just a big giant dirt wall. Now I don't see a good angle where I can tell where that transition is, the dirt at the bottom that kind of transitions from the flat to the actual backflip container. I don't think they used anything metal either in the ramps themselves. And then his throttle timing was right at the base of that dirt pile too. So notice kind of where he stomped on the throttle, held it all the way through. Man, isn't that cool? All right, so now let's go back to Todd. Okay. Right, so the throttle timing as well. Right on that transfer, right on the transition. And that dirt pile, the only thing I'll say is I know that dirt pile has got to be taller than the transition for Tom's hit. I know that. It's got to be the case. And so the trench box itself is shorter. If we go back and look at Tom's here, the actual dirt pile itself, okay, that looks like there's about, I don't know, what, 10 feet? I mean, that's tall, right? Then you compare that to where Todd hit, the actual trench box and what's bouncing off. I think that was a factor. One of the things I was texting Todd about this, and I was like, Todd, why do you think your truck did not bounce backwards like Tom's did in 2015? And he said something that I didn't believe until I just saw it just now. And he said he thought the trench box kind of gave a little bit when he hit it. Now, I don't see a lot of trench boxes move when we hit them. And so I thought, I don't remember seeing that. I just saw a little bit of movement. All right. So let's watch his approach here. All right, watch it again. I see the movement that I think Todd is talking about. Look really closely. I'm telling you, it is. It's right there. So watch the left side of the trench box, and that could be the difference maker. Okay, it did. If you watch it, it just moves a little bit, and Tom's doesn't. But one of the things I think the throttle timing was identical between the two, but instead of Todd's truck bouncing backwards like Tom's did, watch it right, watch Tom's right. See, it's immediately bouncing back. Todd's went up. And like I said, I think part of the height of the trench box was a factor, but two other things I think you should consider, okay, when you come up with your idea on why this happened this way. Number one, it rained that night in Nashville. I think it was in Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. And there's mud, right? So there's a chance that there's obviously mud on the tires. There's a chance that the buildup on the tires could have affected it. There's also a chance that the traction didn't quite hit, so it kind of broke through. Instead of the traction hitting off the trench box, it could have been just slick enough to absorb some of that and cause it to go up. The second thing, whenever storms come in, if you want to think about the way our motors work, we need oxygen for it to make power. That's what the blower is pulling down into the engine. Well, if there's a lot of humidity, we call it like water grains. We always did this in drag racing. It was one of the things that we looked the closest at. In fact, when we were setting the speed record down in Bradenton in 2020, I think it was, when we did the Breaking World Records, and we were the first truck to hit 100 miles an hour, one of the issues that we were having in a couple test passes was it was 128 grains of water per square inch. Those are basically rain numbers. The more moisture that is in the air, that means there's less available free air to be able to pull down. It's the easiest way to think about it. You have a glass of a glass of water. If it's half full of liquid, that means it's only the top half that's available of air. Does that make sense? Instead of just an empty glass. Think about the atmosphere that way. So it could have been a power thing for Todd. The best argument against that concept is the fact that he still went like 45 feet in the air. It looks to me like there's plenty of power, but sometimes that power is there on the top end, but not on the smack of the throttle, okay? Because you need that immediate reaction. You want it to hit off the trench box so hard. So that's a theory as well. But my take, here's my opinion. You tell me what you think. I think it is a combination of the transition at the bottom being really tall, so that left less of an area for that box to actually have for the truck to bounce off of and react to. And I think it was the combination of those two things that allowed Todd to go up instead of Tom Meents, who bounced off of it like this one. And was able to kind of get that fulcrum point lower so that he could accelerate through it and try to get that double flip. So let's watch it in full speed one more time, and you tell me what you think. Man, that flip was cool, though, wasn't it? All right, let's watch Todd's one more time. I want this debate to happen, too, in the comments.
Of that blue pot backflip, he's going high.
Gosh. I remember asking Todd too. Let's watch it one more time. I remember asking Todd too, like, dude, were you scared? Like, when you're upside down this high, chances are he knew he was high, but he told me, he was like, honestly, all I was thinking about was trying to get the truck to keep rotating and then hit the brakes. I think this is such a miracle too, that he was able to keep the truck moving that slowly as it rotated and then hitting the brakes at the perfect time. He's out of the throttle right there when he sees the dirt come back into his field of view, and then he's on the brakes. But that is a far distance to fall. The fact that he landed almost on all four wheels is so amazing. So shout out to Todd and attempting that double, and it turned out to be like the highest backflip we've ever seen, maybe that we'll ever see. But let me know what you think. What do you think the difference maker was? And maybe it's a combination of some stuff that allowed Tom's truck to rotate so hard while Todd's truck went up. Look at the shocks, look at everything about it, take everything into consideration, and let's talk about it in the comments. I gave you my ideas and what I think happened, but chances are, I don't know that we'll ever be able to break this down completely. And so it was fun getting Todd's reaction to some of this. And he told me that the trench box moved. I did see that now. And I absolutely think that was part of it, because with so much ground speed, it's going to cause anything, the toughest wall, to move a little bit, unless you have that massive dirt pile that Tom hit. But the reason why this is so important is because we want to be able to pull off a double backflip at some point in this sport, right? And if anyone's going to do it, Monster Jam's going to do it because Monster Jam's as big as it gets. And so we need to keep pushing the limits. So let me know what you think in the comments. Go down there. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if you're right. And we'll get the discussion going. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Do all those things. Keep the fan requests coming. I love it when you guys tell me what you want to see next. So leave a link in the comments below, and maybe your video will be next. All right? Thanks, guys, and we'll see you at the next driver breakdown.